Imagine being in front of a heavy door, locked for years, perhaps decades. You've tried everything, force, improvised keys, even asking for help, but it just won't open. Now imagine that, with just 3 words, that same door opens wide, revealing a world of possibilities. Does it seem impossible? It is not. Let me ask you another question. Have you ever felt like you're stuck in a cycle of challenges that never seem to end? As if every step forward was followed by 2 steps back. Maybe you're facing financial struggles, broken relationships, or even the feeling that something essential is missing from your life. But what if I told you that there is a solution that is closer than you think? A key that not only unlocks doors, but completely transforms the way you face life. These 3 words that change everything were said more than 2,000 years ago by a person whose influence spanned centuries and changed the history of humanity. Jesus. Even though he never wrote a single book, letter, or sentence with his own hands, his words were recorded and preserved in ways that still resonate with power and relevance today. And here's the most intriguing thing. In the most painful and significant moment of his life, Jesus chose to say something that carries eternal weight, something that can profoundly impact your life if you let it. These 3 words are not just a final sentence. They are a statement that can change everything about how you view your problems, your struggles, and even your future. Are you ready to discover what these words are, and more importantly, how they can transform your reality? Before revealing the secret, I want to share a story to put you in the picture. Imagine yourself at a trial, surrounded by a rowdy crowd. In the center, 2 figures, one known for his kindness, and the other, a notorious criminal. When the judge gives the people the choice to free one of them, in a surprising twist, they choose the criminal. Goodness is rejected. The innocent are condemned. This story is not just an ancient account. It is a mirror of the choices we still make every day, often opting for the path that seems easier, but which keeps us far from our true purpose. This striking scene is just the beginning. You will soon discover how words spoken in this context have the power to redefine what it means to live with freedom, peace, and purpose. These words are simple but profound. It is finished. Don't be fooled by the apparent minimalism of this phrase. It carries the weight of a truth that can change not just your perspective, but your life. If you are ready to open the door that has been locked for so long, stay with me. I'll show you how these words have the power to transform your life and unlock blessings you didn't even know you were waiting for. The journey begins now. Now, before we move on, I want to make a quick request. If this message is making sense to you and you believe that more people need to hear about the power of "It is finished," subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Believe me, most people who watch us haven't subscribed yet, and this simple gesture helps us continue sharing content that can transform lives. Let's take this message even further together. Just over 2,000 years ago, the world witnessed one of the most memorable moments in its history. In Jerusalem, a city bustling with religious and political activity, a man named Jesus walked toward what would be the most significant event of his life. He was not just a teacher or a spiritual leader. For those who followed him, he was the fulfillment of ancient promises, the one who would bring redemption to all humanity. To understand the depth of what was to come, we need to go back to the scene before his sacrifice. It was a turbulent morning. Jesus had been betrayed by someone in his closest circle, arrested, and taken before the authorities. Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor, found himself facing a crowd demanding a verdict. Before him stood 2 men, Jesus, innocent of any crime, and Barabbas, a known criminal. The crowd was given a choice. Who should be released? In an act of rejection of kindness, they chose Barabbas. This choice was not just a political or cultural decision. It was a reflection of something deeper, the constant conflict between what frees us and what binds us. Jesus, silent, accepted what was to come. He knew the plan was bigger than that moment of pain. He was sentenced to crucifixion, one of the cruelest methods of punishment at the time. For the Romans, This was the most humiliating form of execution, reserved for the worst criminals. But for Jesus, it was the fulfillment of a divine mission. The events that followed are detailed in the scriptures, as in the Gospel of John, chapter 19, verse 30. During hours of suffering, he bore the weight not just of physical pain, but of something much greater, the weight of all humanity. Isaiah, a prophet who lived about 700 years before Christ, had already predicted this. In chapter 52 of his book, he describes the suffering of the Messiah in an impressive way, stating that his appearance would be disfigured beyond recognition. In that final moment, Jesus spoke 3 words that would change everything. "It is finished." This was not a declaration of defeat. Rather, it was a proclamation of victory. He was not just completing his mission, he was opening a new path for humanity. The expression itself in the original language carried the idea of something completely accomplished, paid in full, completed in its entirety. But what does this mean for us today? These words represent the idea that the price for spiritual freedom, healing, and restoration has already been paid. Jesus not only faced the pain of crucifixion, he faced what was behind it, the weight of our mistakes, our weaknesses, and our limitations. By declaring that it is finished, he offered us a new perspective. We don't have to fight alone. The work has already been done. This story is not just an isolated event from the past. She is an invitation to everyone who faces daily battles, from financial worries to deep emotional wounds. It's a reminder that no matter how difficult the situation may seem, there is a solid foundation for finding hope and overcoming. The crucifixion happened nearly 2 millennia ago, but its impact echoes to this day. Millions of people around the world continue to find comfort and strength in these 3 words. They not only wrap up the story of Jesus, they usher in a new beginning for all who choose to believe in their power. Now, knowing this story, I ask you, what could these words mean to you? How can they transform the way you face life's challenges? Redemption is not just a distant concept. It is a reality that can be lived every day. How about starting now? Life can be unpredictable. Moments of calm often give way to unexpected storms, and we often find ourselves asking, how will I handle this? But the answer isn't what you can do in your own strength. It lies in something much more powerful, faith. When Jesus spoke the words, "It is finished," he did not just announce the end of his mission. He revealed a profound spiritual principle. The essential work has already been done. From that moment on, our part is not to try to recreate what has already been accomplished, but to trust in what is already available. And this is where faith comes into play. Faith is not just believing in something, it is a deep and active trust that even when we cannot see the full path, there is a direction being charted. It's like crossing a river with an invisible bridge, knowing that each step will be supported. But what makes faith so powerful? Faith is believing before seeing. Think of a seed planted in the ground. When you bury the seed, it disappears from sight. Even without seeing it, you trust that something is happening underground. This is how faith works. You plant your hopes and beliefs based on what was promised, even if you still can't see the fruits. The Bible describes this in Hebrews chapter 11, where faith is called the certainty of things we hope for and evidence of things we do not see. This means that trust goes beyond logic or circumstances. It's about aligning your vision with a greater promise. Trust is not passivity. Trust does not mean crossing your arms and waiting for everything to happen magically. It is acting based on the certainty that the result is guaranteed. Jesus gave us a clear example of this. Even in the midst of extreme suffering, he continued his journey because he knew that the greater plan would be fulfilled. In practice, this can mean taking bold steps, even when circumstances seem to say otherwise. For example, if you are facing financial challenges, trust can mean acting wisely and generously, believing that your efforts will be rewarded. If it is a broken relationship, trust can be taking the first step towards reconciliation, believing that healing is possible. Gratitude is the expression of trust. One of the clearest signs of trust is gratitude. Giving thanks before seeing results is an act of faith in action. It's recognizing that, regardless of what is happening now, there is something good in store for you. In Philippians chapter 4, verse 6, we find the invitation to present our concerns with thanksgiving. This posture not only eases the weight of worries, but also helps us see the blessings we already have. Faith strengthens the mind and spirit. Modern studies show that faith has a positive impact on mental health. Harvard University has published research indicating that people with an active spirituality experience lower levels of stress and greater emotional resilience. This doesn't mean they don't face difficulties, but that they find strength in something bigger than themselves. When trust is challenged, it's natural to feel doubts, especially in difficult times. Even those with strong faith face periods of uncertainty. But remember, confidence doesn't require perfection. It grows with practice. The key is to keep putting one foot in front of the other, even when the path seems hazy. We're halfway through our video, and I want to ask something important. If this message is bringing value to you, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. These small gestures help us continue creating content that can impact even more people. We count on you to be part of this mission. Now pause and reflect. Is there something in your life that seems like an insurmountable challenge? Something that you try to resolve with your own strength, but that you won't give in to? How about trying a new path? Declare that you trust what has already been completed. Free yourself from the burden of trying to control everything. Walk in faith, knowing that the words, "It is finished," were not just spoken, they were fulfilled. True confidence is not just about believing that something good will happen, but about living as if it is already happening. And when you choose to take that step, everything starts to change. Because, in the end, faith is not just a concept. It is a force that transforms what is around you and, above all, within you. Have you ever noticed how the words we use have a significant impact on our lives? They don't just express thoughts, they shape realities. What you say, how you say it, and with what intention you say it can create or destroy, build or weaken. Words have immense power, and this is something that both science and spirituality recognize. In the book of Proverbs, there is a verse that sums up this concept well. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. This statement, which may seem simple at first glance, brings a profound truth. What we say carries the ability to influence our internal and external world. But how does this work in practice? Yes, words shape thoughts and behaviors. Several psychological studies show that the way we speak directly affects our emotions and actions. For example, using positive affirmations can improve mood, increase self-confidence, and even help you cope with difficult situations. When you declare something with conviction, your brain begins to believe it and work to align that statement with reality. Now imagine how this applies to a life of faith. When Jesus said, "It is finished," he was not just ending his mission. He was releasing a word that would resonate through time, bringing hope and transformation to all who embrace it. Just as he declared this truth at the most crucial moment of his journey, we too are called to use our words to manifest change. Declarations align faith with action. Declaring something out loud is not a mere mechanical act. It is an exercise that connects mind, spirit, and intention. When you face a difficult situation and choose to affirm, "I can overcome this," something begins to change within you. This statement doesn't immediately remove the challenge, but it redefines how you approach it. Jesus gave a clear example of this principle. He didn't say, "One day it will be finished," or "Perhaps it will be finished." His words were definitive, "It is finished." This demonstrates that the power of a statement lies in its clarity and certainty. It's not about hoping something happens. It's about aligning your speech with a higher truth. Words create a space of possibilities. When you speak with intention, you are creating a space where possibilities can manifest. Think about it. How many times have you seen someone discouraged or encouraged just because of words? A supportive word can change the course of someone's day, while negative words can make a lasting impact. Now apply this to your life. When you declare victory over a difficulty, you are paving the way for solutions that perhaps were previously unnoticed. The simple act of saying, "This is already resolved," not only strengthens your faith but also calms your mind, allowing you to see possibilities that were previously clouded by doubt or fear. Words and the subconscious. Another layer of the power of words lies in the impact they have on the subconscious. The brain processes what you say repeatedly and begins to create associations based on those statements. If you constantly repeat discouraging words like, "I'll never make it," your subconscious begins to accept this as truth. On the other hand, positive and intentional statements reprogram your inner self to seek results in line with your affirmations. Therefore, it is essential to practice daily affirmations based on what you want to achieve. Say, "I am at peace," when anxiety tries to take over. Declare, "I am strong," when tiredness seems insurmountable. These words not only change your emotional state, they also shape your perception and response to the world around you. Speak with authority. Finally, remember that your words have as much power as the intention you put into them. It is not enough to simply repeat sentences. You need to speak with authority, genuinely believing in what you are stating. Just as Jesus spoke with certainty that his work was complete, we too can speak with conviction about the situations in our lives. The power of your words is not in the volume with which they are spoken, but in the strength of the faith that sustains them. When you say something with full confidence, you are aligning your mind, your spirit, and your reality. Now, reflect on what you have declared about your life. Are your words building up or tearing down? Are they strengthening your faith or fueling doubts? The power to transform your reality is already within you, and it all starts with what you choose to say. How about, starting today, you start declaring words that bring life, hope, and possibilities? Are you ready to experience the transformative power of words in your life? Start now. What you say today can shape your tomorrow. We all face battles. Some are visible to the world, while others are hidden in our hearts. Maybe you're dealing with a constant worry, like financial stability, failing health, or relationships that seem to be falling apart. Or maybe your struggles are internal, like insecurity, fear, or the feeling that you will never be enough. Whatever the scenario, you are not alone. One of the great strengths of this message is its universality. No matter who you are, where you are, or what you have experienced, the words Jesus spoke, "It is finished," carry a power that transcends time, circumstances, and culture. And here's something important. This message is not about perfection or the absence of problems. It's about how you face them. Think for a moment about the struggles you currently face. Perhaps you are trying to balance multiple responsibilities or seeking a greater purpose in your life. It may be that, even surrounded by people, you feel alone. These battles may seem insurmountable, but they have something in common. They are all opportunities for transformation. Connecting with this message starts with identifying the areas of your life where you feel like you are struggling alone. When Jesus said, "It is finished," he wasn't just talking about his mission. He was pointing to a deep spiritual principle. You don't have to carry everything alone. This includes the pressures you face on a daily basis. Applying this message is a unique process for each person. For some, it means learning to let go of control, trusting that solutions will come at the right time. For others, it's an invitation to reevaluate how they're spending their mental and emotional energy. Now let me ask you, is there something in your life that you would like to change but feel like it's impossible? It could be a dream that seems distant or a habit you struggle to overcome. The first step towards this transformation is believing that the hardest work has already been done. This doesn't mean you won't have to take action, but it does mean there is a solid foundation to build on. Real stories help make this message even more powerful. Think of the person who, after years of facing an illness, finds the strength to move forward by believing that their cure is already guaranteed. Or in that individual who, even after financial losses, rediscovers hope by understanding that "it is finished" also applies to their life. These examples show that the power of this message is not in magic words, but in the transformation that occurs when someone chooses to apply them with intention. The question is, how can this work for you? Now is the time to bring this message into your reality. It is not enough to listen or understand intellectually. It is necessary to act. How can you apply "it is finished" to your life today? Start by identifying a specific area where you feel the need for change. Then, declare with faith that this situation has already been resolved, even if the results are not yet visible. For example, if you are facing financial difficulties, say, "My provision is already secured." If it is a health problem, declare, "My healing is complete." If it's something related to your relationships, affirm, "My connections are being restored." Connecting with this message depends on your willingness to actively participate in the process. Another fundamental aspect of connection is mutual support. When you share your experiences, you not only strengthen your own journey, but also inspire others. So don't underestimate the power of saying what you're facing and how these words have helped you. Together as a community, people can share stories of victory and encouragement. In the end, the essence of this message is simple. You are not alone. What Jesus declared over 2,000 years ago is still true today. Victory is already guaranteed, and you have the opportunity to live it fully. Imagine a moment when all your doubts, fears, and struggles are replaced with clarity, peace, and a renewed sense of purpose. That moment doesn't have to be in the distant future. He can start now. All you need is to allow yourself to believe that the power of transformation has already been made available to you. The words, "it is finished," are not just a historical phrase or a theological statement. They are an invitation for you to live differently, seeing your challenges as opportunities and your limitations as starting points for something greater. These words remind us that we don't need to fight alone, that we don't need to carry the weights of life without help. There is a greater purpose in everything, and you are part of it. Now, pause and think. What is holding you back? Is it the fear of the unknown? The tiredness of trying to solve everything on your own? Or perhaps the feeling that change is impossible? Let those doubts go away. Replace them with the truth that victory has already been declared. What makes this message so powerful is that it is not dependent on external circumstances. It starts within you. When you choose to believe that your situation can change, you activate a power that goes beyond your strength. When you declare with conviction that "it is finished," you don't just speak words, you open doors that seemed locked. No matter where you are on your journey, there is always an opportunity to start over. These words are a compass in moments of doubt, an anchor in times of storm. The question is not whether they can change your life, but whether you are willing to let them change the way you live. Now is the time to act. Don't wait until tomorrow or a more opportune day. Choose today to declare victory over the areas of your life that need transformation. Say with faith and conviction, "It is finished." And as you do, notice how your perspective, your emotions, and even the circumstances around you begin to align with this truth. Remember, change doesn't just come from what you hear or learn, but from what you choose to apply. True transformation begins when you decide to take the first step. So what are you waiting for? The victory has already been won. Now it's your turn to live it fully. If this video spoke to you in any way, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. This helps us continue to bring you content that really matters. And before you leave, take the opportunity to watch the next video that is here. I'm sure it will add even more to your journey. See you there.